Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. So today I have a gigantic haul for you guys because it is 2 months of new movie and TV series pickups, Blu-rays and 4K, actually mostly 4K items. So in this haul, I have all of my Black Friday purchases, all of my new release purchases for November and December, and just random other new items that I picked up from the store. So let's get into it. There are over 30 items here today. I think almost 35, maybe 36, something like that. It's ridiculous, but that's what happens when you get behind. So let's go through all of them here and wrap up all of the new items from 2022 in one big, gigantic video. Before we do though, if you guys have a second, please hit that like button. That really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in to my new release haul for November and December. So I'm going to go Blu-rays and then 4K TV series, 4K standard releases, and then 4K Steelbooks is how I'll wrap this one up. So that'll be the flow of things here. But let's get started with the Blu-rays I picked up. This was a Walmart Black Friday buy, actually pre-Black Friday. Boss Baby Family Business. So this is Boss Baby 2. Now I know what you're thinking, like, why would I buy this? Well, first off, the DVD is actually already with my daughter in her like little binder that she has in the car because she loves Boss Baby. We found this out very recently, and then we happened to come across this sequel, so we figured, yeah, let's pick this one up, and she loves it. I also really enjoy this like series of movies, and I think there's a TV series also, like a Netflix series that was actually really funny, the little bit I watched of it. So I like these. I think they're really well done family films, and so we picked this one up. Super cheap. I'm not going to go over prices on these because I haven't the slightest idea. If I do remember and I want to mention it, I will, but for the most part, I just don't remember. So anyway, first one here is Boss Baby Family Business, a really underrated, I would say, family movie. Sticking with family movies, this next one here is Minions: The Rise of Gru. So I do have all of the Despicable Me movies over there. You can't see them. But this is the last one that I needed. Of course, this is the most recent one. I've not seen this one, but it is a prequel to the Despicable Me film. So I am looking forward to checking it out, which I hope to do in the new year here. But another one that my daughter will absolutely enjoy because she loves the Minions. So yeah, thought this was a great one to pick up. Minions: The Rise of Gru. Alright, so that's it for the family movies. The next one, though, is from The Asylum, which you guys know I love. We have Sharknado: The Complete Collection. So this was one that was in my November anticipated releases video, and I think I actually had it in my hand when I filmed that video, because I filmed it like the day it came out. But yeah, this one is awesome set. Like all 6 Sharknado films for like $20. It was ridiculous. So of course I grabbed it. One thing I will mention, 2 Blu-rays only, so that's a little bit unfortunate, and no special features whatsoever. It's literally you put on the disc, you click 1, 2, or 3, or 4, 5, or 6, whichever disc you put in, and it goes straight to the movie. There is completely bare bones. There's nothing to this release at all. But again, 6 movies for $20. That's a really good deal. If you like this style of film, you'll probably enjoy this. I love The Asylum, as you guys know. Sharknado is not even my favorite of the Asylum films. I think it's okay. It's just over. I don't know. It's okay. I guess I'll just leave it there. But anyway, I do have a full review of Sharknado here on the channel. If you want to check that out, I will. I say I'll link it below, but I probably won't. Just search it if you're interested. But anyway, Sharknado: The Complete Collection. Next up is the sequel to one of my favorite horror films of 2022, X. I picked up Pearl, and I did end up going with the Walmart exclusive slipcover edition, which I'll be honest, I kind of regretted because like days, maybe a week after I ended up picking this one up for like whatever it was, $22, you can get the standard release of this for like $15. So I should have just returned it and got the standard, but whatever, is what it is. I decided just to hold on to this. So yeah, it's a nice slipcover. I don't know if it was worth an extra like $7 or whatever, but whatever. I have it, so there's that. Have not watched this one yet, which I can say about virtually everything in this stack. As you guys know, if you've been following the channel, life has been crazy, so I will definitely be picking these up in the new year. But yeah, excited to have this one in the collection to check out the origin to one of my favorites from last year. This is Pearl. The last two Blu-rays I picked up are both from Vestron Video. This is Earth Girls Are Easy, and this is spine number 27. This one is supposed to be a really good cult classic. I've never seen it before. I don't really even know all that much about it. Jeff Goldblum is in it, though, along with Gina Davis. Damon Wayans in it as well. So, I mean, Jim Carrey, like, it should be really fun. So, looking forward to checking this one out. This is Earth Girls Are Easy, spine number 27. And then I ended up getting the Silent Night, Deadly Night collection. So this has Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5, which is Better Watch Out, Initiation, and The Toy Maker. I talked about this one in my most anticipated releases video. I already had it pre-ordered. I knew I was getting it. So yeah, very excited to have this one. A really good value on this, given the price, and that you get 3 movies. And this is spine number 28. So really cool addition to the collection here. Looking forward to checking these ones out soon. This is the Silent Night, Deadly Night collection containing Silent Night 3 through 5. So those were all the Blu-rays, and I did pick up one 4K TV series, so I'll go over that one right now. Now, this is going to be a little bit divisive, I'm sure, because everybody I heard about anyway hated this series, but this is Halo Season 1 on 4K. This one dropped down, I think I mentioned it in my anticipated releases as an honorable mention, but the price, I wasn't paying for it, and so it dropped down to like $30 or something, and that's a really good deal for a 4K complete season. So yeah, this is one that I only watched the pilot episode, and then my whatever this was on, Paramount Plus, right? Yeah, Paramount Plus subscription ended up dying, and so I just didn't renew it or whatever. I had like a free trial. And so I'd never watched the rest of this, but I thoroughly enjoyed the first episode. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's fine. I also really liked Resident Evil on Netflix. And so that's another one that everybody hated, but hey, it is what it is. To each their own, right? So I'm looking forward to finally completing this season. I don't even know if there's a season 2 coming. I really don't think so. It's like Resident Evil, I know, does not have a season 2 coming, which I think is a real shame, because that season, as it went on, it gets a lot better. And so I don't know what the status is of Halo, but I'm hoping we get more. We'll see. I'm excited to check this one out, though. This is Halo Season 1, the 4K season. I wish I had a better order for like my standard 4K releases, but they're just all over the place. So the first one here is one that I did a full 4K review of here on the channel, so check that out if you're interested. But this is Elf. And I'll just say right now, looked great on 4K. Fantastic movie, still holds up really well. Will Ferrell is just amazing in this one. So if you love this movie like I do, this is absolutely worth upgrading. I loved it. So this is Elf. I'll show these two kind of side by side. I always thought one was a sequel to the other, but I don't think they are. They're just a very similar style, because they're both Jim Henson productions, but this is Jim Henson's Labyrinth. And this is one that I have seen. My wife loves this movie, like one of her favorites of all time. And so I've been wanting to upgrade it to 4K. It finally dropped in price sometime around Black Friday, so I did pick it up. And then to go along with it, I ended up grabbing Dark Crystal, which I don't think I've actually seen before. So looking forward to checking that one out. And like I said, in my head, Dark Crystal was always like a sequel to Labyrinth, but I don't think that's the case. I believe they're completely separate entities, but they're both Jim Henson, and so they have a very similar art style, or like puppet style, I guess, if you will. But yeah, really looking forward to checking these out, and I like that these covers match that like hand-drawn art style. Just looks awesome. So we have Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal. Both of these were really cheap around Black Friday. These next ones are also part of a series that I've been waiting to drop in price low enough, because I do have the, where is it, right there, the Blu-ray collection, but I actually owned one of these on 4K because I found it super cheap at Disc Replay, but I needed the other 4. These dropped down to like $6, I think it was. I remember we were in the hospital one night, I was bored on my phone, and they dropped down at Best Buy. It was the middle of the night, and yeah, so I ended up getting them all. This is the Rambo films. We have First Blood, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, and Rambo. So these are, and I do own, what's the other one? Last Blood, I think, is the last one. So now I have this entire series on 4K, and I'll be honest, it'll be the first time I'm visiting this series. I have owned that Blu-ray over there forever, but I've just never gotten around to it. But for $6 each, like, I couldn't pass that up. That was about what I paid for the used one of the Last Blood. So I figured, yeah, let's grab them. I can sell my Blu-ray collection and then just hold on to these 4Ks, so why why not, right? Very cheap. Happy to have them on 4K. I'm sure it's going to be look and sound better than the Blu-rays anyway. So excited to get around to the Rambo series. Next up is another sequel that I'm excited to get around to. This is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, this is one, like, my buddy has been, telling me to watch these movies forever, and I just have not gotten around to them, but I do need to change that soon. I have some plans to watch some of my missed 2022 films in 2023, so this is definitely one that's on that list that I'm looking forward to checking out. This one and the original, which, of course, is from 2020, but can't watch the sequel until you watch the original. So yeah, this is another cheap Black Friday find. This is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. These next two are not really related at all, except they both came out on the same day, so I'll show them together. This is Poltergeist and The Lost Boys. So these were two that I did mention, I think, in my honorable mentions the month that they came out, but I didn't plan on picking them up. Poltergeist, frankly, I don't even like this movie that much, but I am excited to give it another shot. Honestly, it's like my third or fourth go around with it, but I wanted to check it out on 4K to see if I liked it anymore. And then Lost Boys, I love this movie. This is a fantastic film that I am very excited to visit on 4K because I think it's just going to look amazing. So I figured they were cheap enough. They went on sale. Like, I feel like there was a price glitch a few days before Black Friday where both of these went down to like $12 or $13, something really cheap. And so I figured, yeah, that's a low enough price. I'll bite on that because Poltergeist, I didn't even own on Blu-ray. I only had the DVD. So that's why I was willing to upgrade it. But yeah, Lost Boys, I did own on Blu-ray, but I love it, so I don't mind at all. So anyway, Poltergeist, Lost Boys, excited to have both of them in the collection, even though I like one a lot better than the other. Next up is another sequel to a film that I love, but I've yet to watch. I don't know what it is, but that happens a lot. I watched the first film in a franchise. I love it, but then I just don't get around to the sequels. I have no idea why. And A Quiet Place Part 2 is a good example of one that I've not gotten around to yet. But Quiet Place, it was one of my favorite films the year I watched it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Like, it was just excellent. And so I cannot wait to see what the sequel is all about with Emily Blunt here. I'm so excited for this one. This is A Quiet Place Part 2. This next one was on, I think it was my number 1 most anticipated release for the month of November, I think it was. 8 Mile. Here's another one that I only had the DVD, and so I knew for sure I was upgrading it, and I am so happy I did. Cannot wait to revisit this film. I love the soundtrack on this one. I love this movie when I saw it. But I don't think I've seen it since theaters, if I'm being honest. Maybe I saw it once on DVD. I'm sure I did, actually, now that I think about it. But that was about it. I don't think I watched it since I repurchased it in the widescreen format, because this is one that I bought originally in full screen DVD when it first released because I didn't know any better, and then ended up getting rid of that and recently picked up the widescreen DVD. But anyway, now I've upgraded to the 4K, so that DVD will be leaving the collection. But this is 8 Mile. Here's a Baz Luhrmann film that I am really looking forward to checking out in 4K because I think the HDR on this is just going to look amazing. This is Elvis. And I'm in very much a music mood lately. Ever since I started collecting vinyl again, I've really been diving into more music. And so Elvis has been on my radar. So really looking forward to checking out this biopic on him. I have no idea how realistic it is, but I'm sure it's going to be an entertaining movie nonetheless. So yeah, excited to check this one out specifically on 4K. This is Elvis. Here was a cheap Walmart find on Black Friday. I know nothing about this movie, but my buddy told me, you're gonna love it, check it out. This is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And I know this is a favorite for most people in 2022. Everybody I watch on YouTube just loved this movie. I don't even know what it's about, and I want to keep it that way. I want to know as little as possible going into it, and just see if I enjoy it or not. So, looking forward to it. Hopefully, I will like it as much as everybody else did. This cover gives me some weird feelings that I don't like, but at least I have... Oh my god, it's the same thing on the back. I didn't realize that. For some reason, I thought it was a different cover. It's creepy. Anyway, let's move on. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. This one actually just ended up on Movie Guy 365's top 4K releases of the year. I think it was like number 5-ish, if I'm not mistaken. Michael Bay's Ambulance. Now, I love Michael Bay movies. They're big, they're dumb. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, so this goes another one for my Jake Gyllenhaal collection. I am trying to have everything of his in my physical media collection. So, really looking forward to checking this one out. This is one that I could have watched on Peacock first, but it was like $10 or something on Black Friday or right after Black Friday. So why not pick up the physical edition of it? This is Michael Bay's Ambulance. Here's a movie that I finally upgraded. I've heard that this 4K transfer is the best of the best, and so I'm just happy to have it on 4K. This is The Big Lebowski. I love this movie. I do have the Blu-ray somewhere behind me over here. I love it. This is a great example of a movie that I've watched one time, and I would still consider it one of my favorites. Like, it's so good. I do need to revisit it though at this point, because it's been a number of years since I watched it for the first time, and what better way to watch it than on 4K? So excited to have this one in the collection as well. This is The Big Lebowski. Next up is a film franchise that also gets a lot of hate, but I enjoyed the one of the two I've watched of this. This is the Amazing Spider-Man collection. So we have the first one and its sequel. I watched the first one in theaters and I had a really good time with it. It's not my favorite Spider-Man film ever, but I really enjoyed it when I watched it. I love Andrew Garfield, so I thought he did really well as Spider-Man, but I know people don't like either of these movies, but I have not watched the sequel, so I will check that out soon, and yeah, just see how it looks on 4K. I'm sure it's going to look really good. I remember some of the sequences watching it in theaters of Spider-Man going over the city at night looked awesome, and so I'm sure the 4K disc is going to look fantastic. So this is the Amazing Spider-Man collection. Let's stick with Spider-Man, but let's go to the trilogy. This is the Spider-Man trilogy. Of course, this is the Sam Raimi set of films. Love these. I still have never seen the third one. Like I said, no matter how much I love a first movie or even a second movie in a franchise, it can sometimes take me a long time to get to the rest of them. So yeah, really looking forward to checking out these on 4K. They're classics. Who doesn't love the Sam Raimi Batman or Spider-Man movies? Excuse me. Very excited to have this Spider-Man trilogy in the collection. Here's a couple random ones. These are also the $6 finds from Best Buy that one random night. Crank with Jason Statham. This is supposed to be just like a big dumb action movie. I'm looking forward to it. For $6, yeah, let's add it to the collection. And then I'll just keep going here because this was the other one, I think the last one in the pile that I found for $6 at Best Buy. Source Code, another Jake Gyllenhaal film. I love this movie. I don't know how I didn't own it already, because I know I've watched it before, and I thought for sure I owned it on Blu-ray, but I didn't. So when I saw it for $6, I absolutely had to grab it. This is such a weird movie. It deals with like time... I don't even know if you want to call it time travel, but like messes with the timeline a little bit. It's like crazy ending. It's such a weird sci-fi thriller, but it's really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, looking forward to checking this one out for a second time. This is Source Code. Next up is a recent December release that was really cheap before it released, so I ended up pre-ordering it to get the really low price on it. Highlander. So this is one that I honestly didn't expect to get when it was releasing right now, because I wanted to wait for a price drop. Well, the price dropped before it even released. It was down like under $15, I think, and so why not? I don't own this one on DVD, Blu-ray, anything. So this is the first time owning this, and I've never seen it before. So looking forward to checking it out. I know Ken over at Mid-Level Media just released a review on this today, I think, as of me filming. And so, yeah, excited to check this one out to see what this movie is all about, because it's a pretty well-known film that I definitely should have seen by now. So, yeah, we'll see how it is. This is Highlander. So the last of the standard 4K items I picked up was another one that I mentioned in my honorable mentions for my, whatever it was, December or November anticipated releases video. At the time, when I looked on Blu-ray.com, it didn't list anything for HDR, whether it was Dolby Vision or just HDR10, nothing was listed, nor did it have any specs for the sound. And so because of that, and its high price tag, I decided I would skip out on it, even though I've been wanting to add this movie to my collection for the longest time. This is Train to Busan, one of the most excellent zombie films of the past, I don't know, 20 years now? Just such a great movie. And I actually watched this one like streaming on my laptop one night. Like, I don't even know how I ended up getting it, but I loved it. And I never watch movies on my laptop, but I started it, couldn't stop, absolutely loved it, and I'd never owned it. And so I finally, once the reviews came out on this, it turns out not only does it have HDR10, but it has Dolby Vision color grading and a Dolby Atmos track. If you can see down there, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but both the logos. So I don't know why Blu-ray.com didn't list either of those, but once I realized that it was fully loaded, I had to pick it up. So happy to have this in the collection. This is Train to Busan. All right, so we're down to the last 5 now, and all 5 of these are 4K Steelbooks, so pretty cool releases here. The first one is from Shout Factory. This is Paranorman, another one that I talked about in my anticipated releases video for December. This is one that looks stunning. This Steelbook is absolutely gorgeous. So excited to have this in my collection. And along with this, the only thing that I have coming still in the month of December that I don't have yet is Coraline. I also picked that one up, and I ended up going with the Steelbook 4K on that as well. Looks amazing, and I got it for a ridiculous deal. Amazon sent me this coupon for like $10 off if you do a like Amazon locker pickup or whatever it's called. And so I ended up paying like 13 bucks for it, which is ridiculous because it was already down to 23 bucks. So I ended up grabbing Paranorman and Coraline. I'm excited to check these out. Paranorman, one of my favorites. I love this movie. Coraline, I didn't love the first time I watched it, but I don't own it on Blu-ray or DVD, and I've read the book since watching it for the first time, and so I've been wanting to revisit it to see if I appreciate it anymore after reading the book, which I loved the book. And so yeah, very excited to have both of these in my collection. The 4K Steelbooks just look stunning from Shout Factory. This next one is a Best Buy Steelbook exclusive, and it's the only way to pick this movie up on 4K, at least as of the time of filming. This is Clerks 3. Another one with a really cool Steelbook, but frankly, I didn't get this one for the Steelbook. I bought this one because it's the only way to get it on 4K. So I have no idea why. Bob's Burgers movie was the other one that they did this year, which you could only get on 4K via Steelbook from Best Buy. I don't know what that's about. Hopefully that trend doesn't continue, because obviously, like, I want other options to pick these up on 4K. But either way, this price was really good. It was like 20 bucks, which is really good for a 4K release, let alone a 4K Steelbook. So yeah, this is one I think I talked about in my upcoming releases. I still need to watch Clerks 2. Clerks was like my first favorite movie of all time, but I've never watched the sequels. I don't know why that is. I have an issue, but I need to correct that. So Clerks 2 and Clerks 3 are coming to my watch pile very, very shortly. Looking forward to this one as well. Here's another one that I showed in my anticipated releases video. This is the Running Man Steelbook, and this thing looks really, really cool. I love this release. Let me just show you both the front and the back of this Steelbook. It is awesome. Oh, there is something on the inside. I forgot. So let me take out the disc here so you guys can see that. Yeah, you got Arnold. I mean, how awesome is that? So yeah, this is just a fantastic movie. This was one that the first time I watched this, something was wrong with me. I didn't like it. And that was when we did the Cinefessions podcast. It was a very early episode of the Cinefessions podcast. And I remember being one of the only ones that didn't like the movie. But since then, I've watched it like 2 or 3 times and I've loved it. This is just such a fun movie. It's totally 80s, totally like perfect Schwarzenegger time. It's a great movie. So I had to pick this one up on 4K. This is The Running Man. Down to the final 2, and they are both related because they are both of the Tarantino 4K releases for the last 2 months. Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. So I had no intention of getting, frankly, either of these on Steelbook, but this one I couldn't resist. Like, look at that. It's gorgeous. I love the characters in the blood. It's so cool. And this one, frankly, the only reason I got the Steelbook was because the slipcover version was sold out when I was at Best Buy. So I said, forget it. It's like $3 more. I'm just going to get the Steelbooks. And I have both of them in steel, which means I'm going to have to get all of these in Steelbook now moving forward from Tarantino. But both of these movies are excellent. Obviously, I prefer Pulp Fiction over Reservoir Dogs. But who cares? Like, they're both great, like maybe 4.5 stars and 5 stars. Like, they're both fantastic films. And so very happy to own these on 4K. And I've read really excellent things about the transfers on both of these. So just, I love Tarantino, and I'm so happy that we're finally getting his catalog releases on 4K. Cannot wait to have the entire collection. Jackie Brown is one of the more, it's definitely the most underrated Tarantino film. Give me a Steelbook of that, baby. I cannot wait. So we have Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction on Best Buy Steelbooks. I think both of these. No, this one is a Best Buy exclusive. I don't believe this one is, though. So yeah, either way, very excited for these two. Cannot wait to get more Tarantino Steel in the collection. Those two, though, are going to wrap up all of my November and December new releases. All right, so those were all of the new items that I've picked up over the last 2 months, which is nuts that we are at the end of 2022. It is just, it's crazy. It has been honestly the worst year of my life. And so I cannot wait for 2023 to get here and just to move on, put things behind me, start afresh in the new year. For those that are curious, because I know some of you probably are, the baby watch here is, we still are awaiting the birth of my son. He has had my wife in the hospital a couple of times now, but he is still just chilling. He's still baking. And so he's not ready to come out yet, but we are anxiously awaiting his arrival. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. So let me know down in the comments, what of this pile should I put toward the top of my watch list in 2023? I'd love to hear any and all recommendations or anything else down in the comments below. I always appreciate all of your support down there, so thanks so much for all of that. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed this one, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media, books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga, vinyl. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. I want to wish you and yours a very happy new year. I hope 2023 is much better than 2022 was to you, no matter how good or bad this current year ended up being. Thank you guys so much for watching all year long. I really do appreciate it. Let's kick off 2023, my 4th year of doing this every single week here on YouTube. Let's make it the best year yet. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you all next time.